Kim, what is our first main topic today?
All right, guys, this is coming from James Lochmann. Hey, John, one of the films I've been looking forward to is finally coming out on December 22nd, and that's Kingsman. The first teaser dropped way back in July of 2019, so I'm happy to finally see that it's coming out. The new Matrix film, which I'm also looking forward to, is also dropping on December 22nd. Do you think it was a smart decision for the studios to release these two films just days after No Way Home comes out? I want all three to do well, but it looks like WB is going to lose out on this one.
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in. And yeah, look, Kingsman, the movie looks good. The movie looks good. Mm-hmm. I have a hard time getting terribly enthusiastic for it after how bad the second one was. Like, I'm like everybody else. I love the first one. The first one was great, but the second one was, yeah, not so good. Not so good at all. So we'll see. Although this new Kingsman does have the world's greatest actor who does not have an Academy Award on his mantle in Ralph Fiennes. I mean, I honestly believe that wholeheartedly. After Gary Oldman finally won his Academy Award, I think without it's undisputed that the next guy in line for that best actor in the world without an Academy Award, I think that's Ralph Fiennes.
Is Ralph Fiennes?
It's pronounced Rafe.
Oh, Rafe.
Yes, I know it's spelled Ralph. It's totally spelled Ralph.
But it's actually pronounced Ray.
No, Rafe.
And I was like, no.
It's actually yes, Ray Fiennes.
And he's the number one actor that
number one actor in the world.
Yet.
Also without an Academy Award. No, it's Ray Fiennes. So I'm looking for that. But then there's The Matrix. Now, look, I've already gone on ad nauseum. I won't go into the whole spiel again about why I'm not really excited about The Matrix, although it might end up being great, and the trailer is certainly fantastic.
So good.
But when considering the chances that The Matrix has of being successful, it is facing not one, not two, but three big hurdles. All right? Yeah. One we already know about. Here's the first one that we all already know about. The first big hurdle that The Matrix Resurrections is going to face in being successful is the fact that it's been forever and there was a steep decline in quality in the Matrix films and not so good quality in the stuff that the Wachowskis have done since then. And this is, of course, only one of the Wachowskis coming back, all that kind of stuff. So that's one built-in hurdle that it has. But it's the other two hurdles that are really interesting. Hurdle number two, and maybe its biggest hurdle, is the fact that, like a lot of other movies this year, Warner Brothers' absolutely idiotic decision to release it in theaters and on HBO Max on the same day. Like, they might as well just take wheelbarrows of money and set it on fire. They're throwing away money. And that is going to be a major... We've seen it happen to Suicide Squad. We saw it happen. I mean, we've seen it happen multiple times this year where HBO, or Warner Brothers, I should say, decides to put a movie that deserves a full theatrical release and they drop it on HBO Max the same day. Happened to Dune. I mean, Dune didn't do terribly, but it would have done a hell of a lot better if it wasn't for their day-and-date HBO Max release. And of course, Matrix Revolutions is going to have to face that as well. And that's going to be a major hindrance and a major problem that it's going to have to face. The third, though, is one we haven't really talked a lot about, and that's on me, but the third big hurdle that the Matrix is going to be facing that we haven't talked about is the giant spider in the room. It's opening less than a week after Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, look, if this was Spider-Man No Way Home and then next week Spice Girls The Reunion movie, then you're not worried about that so much because they are clearly going after two very different demographics.
Yeah.
I would suggest that a hell of a lot of people who are looking forward to Spider-Man No Way Home are also very much looking forward to Matrix Resurrections. Now, I don't think big movies have to be released 5 months apart or 5 weeks apart. I think even just 2 weeks separating them is a good cushion, is a decent cushion. But Spider-Man No Way Home is minimum going to make $150 million opening weekend. Minimum. I don't think there's a lot of people who don't think Spider-Man, I mean, it might come in under that, but I think most people kind of believe that Spider-Man No Way Home will probably make at least $150 million opening weekend. If it does that, and if the movie's good, you're probably looking at a 55% drop for second weekend, which still means Spider-Man No Way Home is probably going to make between 67 and 71, 72 million dollars on its second weekend. And that's 68 to 72 million dollars that are going to be eaten up that can't go to Matrix Resurrections. Keep wanting to say Revolutions.
Or Kingsman.
Or Kingsman, for that matter. I'm really more focused on Matrix here, which is really the iconic title. But so not only has it been forever since the Matrix movie come out, not only are a bunch of people who are interested in it not going to bother going to buy tickets for it because it's just going to be on HBO Max on the same day, but on top of all that, a hell of a lot of people who are interested in going to the movie theaters that weekend, a lot of them are going to pick Spider-Man No Way Home. It is a really uphill battle that Matrix is facing. And so a friend of mine asked me the other day, they said, how much money do you think Matrix makes opening weekend? And I shocked them when I said $30 million.
Shut up. That's how...
I think it's going to make $30 million.
Oh, man.
Look.
That's sad.
Now, ask me what I think it would have made if it wasn't opening day and date on HBO Max and it wasn't opening on Spider-Man No Way Home second weekend.
That's the question, yeah.
Then I'm thinking 55, 60, like not mind-blowing money, but decent money.
Yeah.
With it opening on HBO Max and being on Spider-Man second week, I'm guessing $30 million. Now, I haven't seen what the box office projections are. Like maybe the box office projections are $70 million. I don't know. But I'm having a hard time thinking it's going to be... Actually, let me put up a poll. For those of you guys watching live, will Matrix make over or under 30 million opening weekend? I'm going to put that up as a poll. I'm going to see over or under. Okay, for those of you guys who are watching and you look into the chat and you'll see a poll has now been popped up there. Do you guys think that Matrix Revolutions opening on HBO Max on the same day, opening on Spider-Man No Way Home second weekend, do you think that Matrix Resurrections will make over or under $30 million? Now, right now, we've got closing in on 400 votes, and 60% of you are saying under 30.
Oh,
so you guys,
man.
We're now over 500 votes, and it's still holding tight at 60% of you are saying under 30 million, 40% of you are saying over. You seem to have a little bit more faith in it. What do you think it's going to be?
No, it's not that I have faith in it. I'm disappointed that this is very real. No, I don't think it's going to do over. I'm sad that it's not going to do over that. I think you're right. And I think that's such a bummer, especially because I was thinking about the other fact that like this new generation, you know, the teenagers, the kids that weren't there when the Matrix first came out. I don't know that this is going to rival the very first Matrix film, but I think it's so cool for a generation to be able to experience a Matrix film that we all haven't seen come out for them. And I just feel so bad because I think about all the people that wrote in yesterday to say, hey, I got my ticket for Spider-Man. Pretty much everyone that wrote into us mentioned 2 tickets. Yep. Hey, I got my ticket, and then I'm going back with my sister, and then I'm going back with my brother and his friends. And everyone that got 1 ticket was telling us about 2 different dates. So I'm like, if not the next day after seeing Spider-Man, the next weekend, I feel like most of our audience is like, that next weekend is not reserved for Matrix. It's reserved for another showing of Spider-Man.
Yeah, and then all the people who couldn't go or weren't interested in trying to go on the first weekend or whatever.
Yeah, that they're not into the fanfare and the crowded. Yeah,
it's going to be tough. So we'll let Ray get flexed up here and warm up his over-under muscles because he's got the big over-under game coming up here in a second. But Ray, let me ask you, I'm guessing 30 million for Matrix. Would you think it's going to be over or under that?
It's going to be over, baby.
Over, with solid enthusiasm. Ray's going on the over.
And so I apologize to whoever I'm representing today.
But you're following in the chat there. What are people in the chat basically saying? Do people in the chat?
A lot of them are saying under.
A lot of them are saying under. See, right now we're closing in on 1,000 votes right now on the poll, and 57, it's staying right around there. 57% of you guys think it's going to make under 30. 43% are saying it's going to be over 30. But here's a question. Let's rewind 2 years. Let's go back 2 years. Forget HBO Max, all that kind of stuff. And somebody comes to us and says, Imagine us 2 years ago, and time travelers come back to us and say, 2 years from now, a brand new Matrix movie with Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, both coming back. Brand new Matrix movie, Matrix Resurrections. How much money do you think that Matrix movie is going to make opening weekend? People would have said $150 million.
Yes, absolutely.
150, 160, $170 million. And here we are debating about whether it can hit 30. Debating whether or not it can hit 30. It is crazy. Anyway, guys,
That is sad.
question is for you. What do you think about that? It's Matrix not only versus HBO, but also versus Spider-Man No Way Home. How do you think the Matrix Resurrections is going to do opening weekend? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.